Hello, hello. This is the Reno Druid deck we've been playing with for a while now. I've been liking a lot of what it has been doing. However, there's been one part of it that I have not liked, and that is the Death Rattle package. And so when I say not liked, I actually really like it flavor-wise, and it's like some of my favorite cards, Sludge Belcher and Zoth. And I've been really liking Archboar Mishfin just as a card. It's fun to play with, and I like the theme and all of that flavor. However, in terms of winning and all of that, I think they're the worst cards in the deck. Particularly Kartut Defender stands out as being really bad when we don't have Enzoth. It's terrible stats for the mana. It gets silenced. It gets stuck in our hand. It's so hard to dump when we have an Elise going on. Sludge Belcher, not quite as bad, but still pretty bad. Enzoth is okay, of course, when you've already played your Death Rattles, but sometimes you don't get many Death Rattles with him, and then he's just mediocre for a 10-drop. Archboar Mishfin is pretty good. The Prime it shuffles in is okay. It's pretty good for 10 mana, but it's 10 mana, which is just not relevant in a lot of games. So I think we're gonna try to like slightly switch this shell. Maybe we'll just try it for a little bit, and if I just don't like playing the deck that much, or if it's not as good as I thought, we can always come back. But I just want to try it without the Death Rattle package, see if it makes the deck a lot better. So we're gonna cut Enzoth, Kartut, Sludge. Not sure if I'm going to cut Mishfin yet or not. He might just be good enough on his own to just run anyways. But we're definitely going to be running Banker now that we've lost a lot of our endgame capacities. And with this and Elise and all that, you can just go infinite. I want to put in Thalnos. There he is. We don't have to worry about him being in the Death Rattle pool for Enzoths. And this was a card I was really wanting to put in, but we just couldn't, because he would fatigue us with Enzoths. Another card I really wanted in was Bees. It's just a great removal tool. It can deal with Hench Clan Thug. It can deal with just a lot of things aggro has. Okay, and so the last question is do we want to keep Archboar? I'm going to take a look at our curve. That's a really nice curve. Wow, okay. Yeah, taking out that 6 and 5 drop and 10 drop just made it so much better. 4 drops might be a bit too many, but actually, honestly, it's fine. I think I just like the curve as is. Let's take a quick look at the 5s and 3 drops and 4 drops. Definitely want Oasis Searcher, definitely want Loatheb and Elise. Okay, that's good. 4s, we want the Spellbreaker, we want the Poison Seeds, want the Flute, want the Fendril. Branching Paths is pretty good. I think we'll keep it. It's just so flexible, and most modes are like above average. We want Zola especially now that we don't have Enzoth, just to help go infinite. Dark Reaper's been good. Mulch is nice. Howl is good. Bees. Still not sure about Mishfin. Acolyte of Pain. And okay. So I think we'll just stick with this. One issue with the Mishfin, however, is when we shuffle in the Prime, with this version of the deck, we're going to be wanting to really rely on Elise for our end game value. And when we do that, we want a cheap hand that we can duplicate. And so with the Mishfin, if we shuffle 10 drops into our deck, that doesn't really work out too well. I think we gotta cut it. The 3 mana 3/4 taunt is good, but I think we just gotta cut it. And so the question is we probably want to put in a 3-drop. So what is there at 3? We've already got most of the good Druid cards. Yeah, let's see. Neutral. One thing, we could put in Bran, but Bran kind of has anti-synergy with Banker because it turns off our Reno effects. And he does work with the Rat, does not work with the Wizard. And I think having 2 anti-synergy cards is enough to just not want to play Bran. And he doesn't do too much for us. Could put in the Ooze. There are a lot of weapons. And this is a case where we would run the Gluttonous Ooze over the Acidic Swamp Ooze, just because our curve would rather have a 3-drop than a 2-drop at this point. So for curves, you want it to kind of just look like a curve, and not like this giant step from 2 to 3 is looking a bit off. I want it to be more smooth, so 1 more 3-drop is preferable. So considering that Ooze, it stops Skulls of Gul'dan, it stops Alunith from Secret Mage, it hurts Pirate Warriors, it sometimes is good against a lot of Demon Hunters, and for our deck it gains Armor, which is relevant for the Spellstone. So I'm thinking we could also just put in Snip Snap. Snip Snap is just such an all-around good card. Not quite as good when you don't have Ziliax to put it onto, but it's still just a possibility if you don't know what to put in and you want the 3-drop. It's also nice because we can dump it in a sense. We can just play it for 3 and then just not play it anymore for the turn if we're needing to dump our hand. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna either do is Snip Snap or the Gluttonous Ooze. One issue that we might come up with, like we came up in that last priest game, is if with losing the Enzoth, the 6-drop, and the 5-drop, and the Mishfin, there might be hands where we just fizzle out if we don't get our card draw, and we don't have enough value, and so that would be a reason to run Snip Snap, because it can just kind of fill in for if we're out of value on a turn. I think before we put in a tech card, I'd rather just put in a card that's just kind of good, and if we find ourselves losing to weapons a lot, we can put in the Ooze. I think we'll just try out the Snip Snap. Alright, let's see how this does.